Where am I? Oh. Alrighty. How you doing there? Welcome back to Babylon Talmud. Today we're studying Daf Yud, Daf 10 of Masechta Nazir, friends. Friends, today we talk about the interesting sugya of hallucinating, like tripping. A fellow is tripping. So that's today's sugya. All right, let's start. All right, we're on Daf Yud Amud Aleph. 2 lines into the page. Omar, if a fellow says, Omra Pare, that a cow said, Omra Pare Zo, that a cow said, Hareni Nazira im Omedes Ani. Some guy claims that a cow told him that I think, if I understand correctly, I mean, it's hard to understand what somebody's reporting from a psychedelic trip, but my understanding is that what he's saying is that a cow told him that the cow is going to be a Nazira if it stands up. Okay. Alternatively, Amr Hadeles has a door spoke to him and told him, Harini Nazir, that I'm going to be a Nazir im niftachani, if I open up. What do you think he was on? Okay. Bishamai says Bishamai Nazir, Bisil Eno Nazir. Bishamai says he's a Nazir, and Hillel says he's not a Nazir. Omer Yehuda says Yehuda Af Kishamu Beishamai Lo Omu Ela, that even when Beishamai says that he's a Nazir, it's only but Omer Arei Parazo or like Korban of Medasi, just like similar to like yesterday's Mishnah says Reb Yehuda that actually what's going on is that he's saying no, that this cow would be usher to me, the meat of this cow would be usher to me if it stands up. Okay, very interesting. Excuse me, 1 second. Okay, Zog the Gemara. No, Frek the Gemara. Paul Mika Mishtaya. So now the Gemara says, all right, people. I know it's very interesting to talk about hallucinogenics and tripping, and it's some people think it's an interesting topic. What do you think? Well, what's your opinion? Is it interesting or not? Depends on the context. Paul Mika Mishtaya, but at the end of the day, the Gemara says, look, we're learning Gemara over here. Leave me alone. Do cows talk? What are we talking about? That there was a cow in front of him that was lying down. And he said, that this cow thought that it wasn't going to stand up. Hareni Nazir mi Bisara im Omda. Wait, what? Vamar Kisvur Parazo Omedes Hareni Nazir mi Bisara im Omda Meilel. Okay, that I think what it is that this cow thought that it wasn't going to stand up, and he says that if the cow ends up standing up on its own, I'm going to be a Nazir from the meat. I'm not going to eat the meat. V'omda Meilel. And then it stood up. So now the question is, right? So basically, if the cow stands up, he's a Nazir from the meat. Now, just like yesterday, we learned the sugya of what if he says that he's a Nazir from figs? Right, Nazir is from wine, not from figs. So now he's saying that he's a Nazir from meat. And Beis Shammai is now consistent with their opinion yesterday, which was when a guy says that he's a Nazir from figs, so he's a Nazir. So over here, if he says he's a Nazir from meat, so he's a Nazir. Beisil is Shitasan. And Beisil Oichit, they said that when he says he's a Nazir from figs, he is not a Nazir. So here too, when he says he's a Nazir from meat, he's Oichit, not a Nazir. Beishamid Amrei, Min Agregus Min Advele, Have a Nazir, Hachanami, Kami B'sara Hevi Nazir. So just like as I said, when Beis Shammai said yesterday that by the figs he's a Nazir, so Oichit do here as well, by the meat he's a Nazir. And Beis Hillel say, Lo Avi Nazir, and Beis Hillel say, just like yesterday by the figs, he's not a Nazir. Here, Oichid by the meat, he's not a Nazir. But we learned this yesterday by figs. Why do we have to teach it Oichid by meat? Amar Rove, says Rove, Tarte Tlos. Look, we needed all three situations. We needed the figs, we needed the meat, we needed the door. Okay, Rabbi taught that we need all three. We need all three. It might be if we would have only had yesterday's Mishnah about the figs. Over there, Beis Shammai would say, okay, he says he's a Nazir from figs. He's a Nazir because I guess you could mix up figs with grapes. Y'all ever mixed up figs with grapes? Maybe. Ich weiß nicht. But, okay, you like grapes, you like figs, why not? Do you buy like fresh grapes? I buy fresh figs, dude. Those are the best, man. When it's fig season in Eretz Yisrael, y'all gotta get over here and eat some figs. What do you want me to tell you? Grapes, on the other hand, I'll tell you, the grapes in Eretz Yisrael are geschmack. I mean, everything in Eretz Yisrael is geschmack. They even have internet now. You know that? Did I tell you? I have internet now. Mamish, the day it came out, I got it. The day it came out. The day that it came out, I got internet. Of course, we had something similar to internet for a long time. I guess it was internet, but it didn't really work very well or reliably. But now I have fiber. It's gewaldig. I can't even upload Babylon Talmud to YouTube. I don't have to go to WeWork to do it anymore. I can even do it from home. So they even have internet in Eretz Yisrael. They got everything. Anyways, so we'll say that the Michalfim Banovim. Look, maybe Darin Beis Shammai says that if he says he's a Nazir from figs, so then he's a Nazir because, I don't know, maybe you can mix up grapes with figs. Fine. Aval Basar Banovim lo Michalif, but you're not going to switch, you're not going to mistake meat with grapes, and therefore maybe over here he wouldn't be a Nazir. So therefore they have to say, no, by meat also he's a Nazir. V'yitmar Basar. And if you would only have meat, I would say, look, Beis Shammai only says that by the meat he's a Nazir b'bisra v'chamra, because, you know, what goes together with meat? Wine. So he says he's not going to have meat. It's like he's also saying he's not going to have wine. So maybe that is why he's a Nazir aval grogris v'dveila lo. But maybe by grogris and dveila, maybe he wouldn't be a Nazir. Kamaj malon. Therefore, we need that one as well. We also need the grogris and the dveila. Fine. To say that Beis Shammai said that you'd be a Nazir in both cases. Fine. Itmar hanitarte, and if you'd only have meat and figs, hanihu dekami Beis Shammai, I would say that specifically by these two cases, that's what Beis Shammai says he's a Nazir. Avol deles imamodzu Beis Hillel, but I would say that by a door, you know, what does door have to do with Nazir? That's a complete wild card. So maybe then they would admit to Beis Hillel that he would not be a Nazir. No, even by a door he would be a Nazir. Vitana deles, and if we'd only have the case of the door, Beis Hillel, I would say, okay, maybe this is where Beis Hillel says that that he's not a Nazir. But maybe by the meat and by the figs, maybe Beis Hillel would admit to Beis Shammai that he would be a Nazir. Kamaj malandelo. So he says no. So okay, we need the case of the meat, we need the case of the figs, we need the case of the door. That in all three cases, Beis Shammai he says he is a Nazir, and Beis Hillel says he's not a Nazir. Omar Rove, says Rove, mikatoni im omdo me'eleo. Frekt Rove, he says 1 second, but the Mishnah didn't say anything about it standing up on its own. Omar Rove rather says Rove. Okay, there was a cow that was lying in front of him, and he said, Hare olai korban. And he says that it's going to be a korban. Alright, so Bishlama Parah Bas Korbani, but that makes sense for a cow, which could be a korban. Ela Delas Bas Korbani, but what does Delas have to do with being a korban? So there was a cow that was lying down in front of him, and he says, and he says, I'm going to be a Nazir from wine, imlo amda, if it doesn't stand up, and then it stood up on its own. So there's a cow, and it's lying down, and he says, if this cow stays lying down, I am going to be a Nazir from wine. I'm going to be a Nazir. But then it stood up, but on its own. So the question is, does standing up on its own count? Beis Shammai Save, no, it does. Standing up on your own doesn't count, and it's as if it's still lying down, because Torfi Dai Gavra Mishum Ukma Biyodehu V'Halo Ukma. Because really what Beis Shammai is arguing, that really what this guy is getting at when he says that I'm going to be a Nazir as long as this cow is lying down, meaning as long as I don't assist it in standing up, I'm going to be a Nazir. If I assist it in standing up, then I won't be a Nazir. And then it stood up on its own. He didn't assist it to stand up. So because he didn't get involved, it's as if the status never changed, and he's a Nazir. Whereas Beis Hillel says, Mishum dirviyahu v'ha komas. Whereas Beis Hillel says, no, what he's saying is, as long as it's lying down, I'll be a Nazir, but if it stands up, I'm not going to be a Nazir. It stood up. I don't care if it was on its own. Assisted makes no difference. It's standing up. So you're not going to be a Nazir. If that's the case, Ema Seifa. What does it say at the end of the Mishnah? Omer Bihuda says, Bihuda Av Kishamu Beis Shammai Lo Omer Ela Ba'Omer Harei Olai Korban Parah. What was the Go Sabach? Harei Parizo Olai Korban. So, but base, but Rabbi Yehuda says, right? Harezo Olai Korban. Para Mika Matbis Ba Midi. But the thing is, if he says that, right, if what we're saying is V'Omar Areni Nazir Mi Yayin, so if he's talking about Nazir from Yayin, from wine, what does that have to do with the Korban? So Ela Kigon the Omar Areni Nazir Mi Bisara. No, so we're saying what he says. Okay, I'm going to be a Nazir from its meat. Im Lo Amda, if it doesn't stand up. So if it doesn't stand up, then I'm going to be a Nazir from its meat. V'Amda Me'eleh, and then it stood up on its own. Beis Shammai Savre Torfe Da Ugavra Mishum Ukma Biyadehu V'Lo Ukma. So Beis Shammai says, look, what he's saying is that he's going to be a Nazir from the meat as long as he doesn't get involved in helping it stand up, and he didn't get involved in helping it stand up, and therefore he's a Nazir from the meat. And Beis Shammai says that you could be a Nazir, that if you say you're a Nazir from meat, you're a Nazir. Whereas Beis Hillel says no, his intention was that as long as it's standing, he'll be a Nazir. As long as it's lying down, he'll be a Nazir from meat. But if it stands up, regardless of if you assisted it or not, then you're not going to be a Nazir from the meat. Beis Hillel Savri lo komas have a Nazir. 1 second, I don't understand. But who cares how it stood up? According to Beis Hillel, if he says he can be a Nazir from meat, then even if it remains lying down, Beis Hillel says that he wouldn't be a Nazir anyways. Beis Hillel's opinion is that if he says he can be a Nazir from meat, won't be a Nazir. You can't do that. It doesn't count. Yeah, Enochinami. They're responding to Beis Shammai, meaning Ledidon. According to us, I feel lo kamas nami lo ave Nazir. Look, according to us, regardless, you won't be a Nazir because you're saying a Nazir from the meat, and that's not a thing. But according to you people, that you say that he will be a Nazir, Odu, right? That if you say that if you're a Nazir from meat, then you'll be a Nazir. Odulan mias, but you have to at least admit that that when he says that you'll only be a Nazir from the meat as long as it's lying down, it's because it's lying down. V'akomas. And it's standing up now, so therefore you shouldn't be a Nazir at all. And Beis Shammai says no. No, the intention, the Beis Shammai says that the intent of this fellow was that he wasn't going to personally get involved. And as long as he didn't personally get involved, then he would be a Nazir from meat, and therefore he would be a Nazir. Friends, that was Daf Yud of Masechta Nazir. Hope you enjoyed. Peace out.